It's Coors Light. It's the world's most refreshing beer, which is one of those bullshit marketing phrases that no one can prove.
Yeah, I will be the judge of that.
Define refreshing.
No, that'd be exhilarating. No. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a real life example that would define refreshing, but I'm not thinking of anything. I'm just thinking of things where I'd be glad that I've still got my life, and that's not something I should be thinking of and drinking.
Well, it's Coors Light because it's only 4%. When I first saw it, I thought, is this non-alcoholic? No, it's got alcohol in it, and it was cheap. So, hence why I bought it.
All right. Please drink responsibly.
Well, that's me. So
Drinkaware.co.uk.
What that means...
Don't drink if you're a fat
You must
bitch.
drink like this.
No, that's being sophisticated.
That's being responsible, young Skazz.
Oh, apologies, sir.
All right.
As long as I don't go upstairs and grab some of my beers that literally strip paint off.
Yeah. Yes. No.
I love that stuff. I've got to brew more of it.
You do. I had to rebrew mine. I don't know what happened to mine. Something got in it. I followed.
Something got in it. What you mean is you drank it.
No, I did all the instructions. I spent ages being sterilised. I even wore gloves when I was sterilising it to prevent me contaminating with it. And yeah, it all went off.
Oh, bad. So you ended up with some really, really
rank water.
Rocking.
I remember taking a tub of thing. Oh, that does not smell good. That doesn't smell like beer. That smells like something that you'd have after you've drunk the beer already.
Wow, that went. I
decided to not even attempt to taste it.
That went completely the other way.
Yeah. So yeah.
See, I always assume that about ours because when you look at it like halfway through the cycle, I'm like.
Oh, I didn't do it. I just. Well, see, the great thing is I got because my little thermometer they gave me didn't work. The little strip that tells you it didn't work at all. Useless. Didn't show any temperature at all.
Really?
Yeah, but I've got an infrared thermometer, so I just used to have that. I used to have set next to me on my desk. I used to spin round with the monitor and just aim it. Oh yeah, it's still fine.
Ours has been such like, no, that's going to be vinegar. I go, Inky, that's going to be vinegar, love. That's going to be vinegar. That's not going to turn into beer. Every single time I thought that. All right, it's been pretty rough stuff.
Evening, Annie.
Because I don't carbonate it. Because, right, I want my beers. If I pour them on a table, I expect there not to be a table there anymore. I expect it to be like, I don't know.
Who needs an esophagus?
You're drinking. I expect it to knock your ass the fuck out after one drink. Yeah. I've had alcoholics complain that stuff was too strong.
I'll be the judge of that.
I love it.
Good. Right, anybody on the TheSuffolkRam?
Skazz.
And?
Oh, Middlemeister.
He's not with us. He's been turned to a stone.
Yeah, for the audio viewers, he had an unfortunate run-in with a warlock.
And here he is. Occasionally, if you put him and listen to you can hear him and he can say things like, if he doesn't there, I like near.
Yeah. Well, it'd help if you actually fucking played it, mate.
Yeah. So there he is. So he's going to sit.
He's going to have a bit of a problem playing his PlayStation 4 because they've rolled him with his thumbs.
There we go. I'm going to sit him just there so he can still join in in the stream with us.
The suits had nothing to do with his funeral.
No, we should have made that joke. He actually came up with that joke. He said to me, I'm surprised you didn't make a joke that you come for my funeral. I thought that's what you were going to do. And I said afterwards, I thought, that's too bloody obvious.
Yeah. That was so obvious. I thought we didn't
think about doing it. I felt quite disappointed, to be honest.
And then literally days later, he became a rock.
Yeah.
That's what you get for being cocky, mate.
Here's our rock, our foundation.
Bless him.
Yeah.
He became what he represented.
I mean, the Warlock has offered to turn him back. Mm-hmm. We just haven't sort of got round to taking him to the Warlock to have him turned back.
Yeah.
And the guy said that was a bit fudge. Bring him round sometime. I'll just turn him back for you. It's like, oh, that's all right then. Yeah,
so whenever
we'll do that at some point.
One day.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
no one has complained that he's gone missing yet.
No, but this way he can consistently be on the podcast from now on because he can't go anywhere.
There you go.
I think for next week I want an M painted on it. It's got a baseball cap on.
There you go, mate.
I want an M painted on it and just him hear everything. Oh, we've got 4 viewers. Hello, 4 viewers. Anyway.
Are you all high? Or are you expecting something funny to happen? I know that we look funny, but we ain't funny.
Well, it's because I changed our stream description. Doesn't read Round Nerds anymore. It now reads Fortnite.
This is the best Fortnite stream ever.
Yeah. We've lost one.
Oh, they sussed it out. They figured us out.
This is like Fortnite.
This looks like two tubby nerds talking shit into
Yeah.
microphones, drinking crap beer.
Yeah, exactly. 12 quid for 18 cans from Asda.
Wow. So Walmart
Yeah, basically.
to Americans.
Yeah, well, they don't do the weird things. Because apparently Walmart, they do like some sort of like daily ritual song or something, or cheer or something. What are you looking for? Skazz is heavily studying the can for the audio.
Burton on
viewers.
Trent. Anything useful coming from there?
Burton on Trent.
Contains barley and wheat. I'd hope so.
So you want the
May contain alcohol.
Let's see. Inventions from Burton on Trent.
And then nothing comes up. Like Google literally has nothing.
Burton on Trent.
Known for Coors Light. The world's most refreshing beer.
Industrial
Wait, have
Town.
they trademarked? In fact, it's the world's most refreshing beer. I didn't know that was something.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, apparently so, but I'm not sure how you'd define it.
That's a hell of a thing to trademark.
Economy 5.1 brewing. Well, it's home to 8 breweries. You got Coors Beer, formerly Bass Brewers, Carling, Worthington Bitter, Marston's, Thompson's, and Evershed. So now you know. So far, I've not found anything.
Molson Coors Bruins. That's the same people. But
Yeah. Well, it's got some religious sites. It's got notable people. Here we go. Let's see what notable people we've got. Okay.
Me.
Okay, so let's look in the recent 12th century.
But no one thought
No,
they'd come
not
here to be
interesting.
educated.
Phil Seaman, a jazz drummer.
All right, yeah. Sure.
I've never heard of. No, that's not interesting.
That's a bit.
SNP politician. Oh, Burton on Trent was in England. I think it was in Scotland.
DE14, wherever that's at.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck them.
Yeah.
We have now lost our
no,
sponsor.
I've found the important one, okay?
All right.
Alison Lapper, MBE, member of the Association of Mouth and Foot Painting Artists of the World.
That sounds like it's come from Weird News. Excellent.
It does. The Leisure Society, a rock band formed by Nick Hemming.
Good job.
But other than that, nothing of any importance appears to have happened in Burton on Trent. Oh, there's a photo of a train. There you go. That's something important happening in Burton on Trent. A picture of a train arriving in the station. The 66717 for the train spotters out there.
Excellent.
Good.
Looks crap.
Yeah. Well, it's a British train. Of course it's crap.
I'm still stuck in the steam engine kind of realm. I don't like.
You don't like dirty diesels? There's actually, if ever you want to go on iPlayer, there's actually I think it's still on there. There's an old documentary BBC uploaded about sort of 5-10 years ago. They when they said by the 50th anniversary of the BBC,
Yeah.
or some anniversary the BBC was having.
Whatever it was.
They uploaded a load of old documentaries they'd made back in like the 1950s and 60s and 70s.
I'm surprised they still had any.
Yeah, they did. They uploaded loads. Some really interesting ones. Like there's a documentary following bomb disposal people in Northern Ireland during the Troubles.
During the Troubles. From what I understand, that never stopped.
But this is the time when bombs were actually being set off, and they actually had to go around and dispose of them. There was this weird thing though in the documentaries at the time. They'd always tell you people's salaries. So it's like, this is Colonel so and so, age 36, annual salary £2,500. I was like, but why is that relevant?
Why is that relevant?
This is
to
John.
What this motherfucker
He's a
does?
major. Annual salary £1,800. Right, okay. And it's weird. It's really odd. But there's one on there where they're talking about the modernisation of the British railways, and it's filmed in the 1950s. Or 1960s, sorry. And there's a bit there where you've got the old boys who are still using the steam engines, and the diesels are then coming in.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating the arguments they're having over the steam and diesel. It's really,
Diesels will never catch on.
And they met this guy who's an apprentice who he got an apprenticeship doing the signals. So he's working the signal house, moving signals and stuff. I started thinking, yeah, I bet 20 years later your job was gone. You were made redundant. But even then, in the 1960s, it must have been 60s actually, it's filmed, because it's black and white, so yeah, it would have been 60s. They were showing a freight yard that was computerised. As they brought the trains in, it knew where they had to go.
Can I throw out there how terrifying that is, and yet even now people argue about automation. The word that I was
Automation.
Yeah, that one. People still my job will never be taken. They've been taking them since the 60s.
Yeah, I think no job is safe.
No job is safe. I loved it. I got into an argument with a lawyer. Yeah. My job will be safe. You can't automate that. I go, dude, your job's a bunch of if statements.
Yeah.
Move on. If I can make your
the
job,
hardest part about your job is input.
It's like just your job is a fucking flowchart. Now move on.
Yeah, that's how you read the flowchart.
The average fucking 5-year-old's pretty good at flowcharts. Go on.
Yeah. No, I think that ultimately, universal basic income we need to get sorted sooner rather than later. Because there will be lots of people put on employment, and lots of people, including us, probably.
Oh, guaranteed, mate. Guaranteed. I don't doubt that at all. I'm terrified for my children.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrified.
I think the only industry that's worth getting into now is to program the systems that are going to take us out, or robotic repair.
I would probably say engineering more than programming. Because so many kids are getting into programming now, but it's going to be a flooded market. It's going to be a race to the bottom. Do you remember when we went to college? It was literally you'd go onto like these different sites, and it'd be people saying, "I want this job done," and then they'd have a budget, and then you'd have like people replying, but the price would just drop over and over and over again until it got to a point where there was just no point doing the job.
Yeah,
that's what I think coding's going to be. In fact, I had this discussion with a couple of our lecturers way back in the day, and we all basically came to the conclusion that computing jobs in the future, in the near future, are going to become like phone jobs were back then. So just fucking any Muppet's going to be able to do them. There's going to be so many people. The door's just going to rotate. People are going to walk in, walk back out. It's going to be so unfulfilling and mind-numbing. You're just going to want to fucking kill yourself by the end of it.
I do think there'll still be a market for good programmers.
God, yeah.
Let's face it, the majority of programmers will be shit. I mean, I'm not a great programmer, but some of the code I see out there is terrifying.
In the grand scheme, there are people out there who can't even put proper passwords on databases.
That's typical programmer for you. Programmers aren't interested in security as long as it runs fast. They need security.
You know, I just think to myself, what the fuck did you spend all this time doing?
Yeah.
You made it look pretty. Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
You didn't bother securing it.
Yeah.
It's not a job I'd want to get into these days, if I had to be honest.
No. I just do my own stuff.
Yeah. I'd rather sit and be a jobless bum at this point. Anyway, podcast,
yeah. We better start. We're now 13 minutes in. We're down to 2 viewers. So we've killed off another one.
Apologies.
Yes, we do actually talk about something useful occasionally.
I thought that was pretty entertaining.
That was.
And educational, motherfuckers.
You learned about Burton on Trent.
Yep.
And how you're doomed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Get a real job, as in quit now.
Yeah.
Stop wasting your money on an education and just,
I
don't know, learn how to eat dirt.
Yeah. So, games we've been playing. So, because you always make you go first, I'll go first this time.
Good job! I was panicking, then I was like, shit, what's he going to He's going to ask me to talk about games.
Well, he's going to talk about Yeast 27 or something.
Ooh. Well.
It's going to be a Yeast game. Well, I've been playing Far Cry New Dawn.
Is that the one with the 2 chickadees on the front?
Indeed it is.
The one that you and Middlemeister mentioned was coming out? Did I not link that to you?
You linked it on a one of these cheap sites you can buy keys from.
Yeah.
And I looked on my site where I usually buy keys, and there's actually £1 cheaper on there. So I bought from there in the end, yeah. So I bought it. I got it for $16.99.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. And it's only been released a couple of months, so I thought that wasn't too bad. I mean, I like CD Keys. It's a good site. Yeah. And what's the one you linked me?
Fanatical.
Fanatical.
It used to be Bundle Stars back in the day, yeah.
I didn't know, but as soon as Bundle Stars go, oh yeah, I remember that. So I picked up New Dawn. So spoiler warning for Far Cry, end of Far Cry 5, because New Hope Dawn takes place directly after, well, not directly, but after Far Cry 5. And
Does it establish a canon? It must establish a canon.
yes.
Okay.
So the end of Far Cry 5, long story, you have two endings. One were basically sort of the peaceful ending where you decide just to walk away from the bad guy, and it's implied that you get triggered and kill your friends.
Yeah, sounds good.
Right. Ending 2, this guy's part of a doomsday cult. Joseph C's part of a doomsday cult. He believes the world's going to end. You basically go to arrest him, have a big fight, and then just as you're about to fight and end, nuclear bombs drop.
And the world ends. Good job.
And the world ends. So he was right. He was right, basically.
Do the nuclear bombs only drop on America? I can understand where people think that's the world, but I keep telling people that's a fictional place we made up to scare children.
Yeah, well, this is now part of the canon. I don't think it's not actually said anywhere. If it's implied heavily, all of America's been hit, but it's not applied where else.
So no real places in the world have actually been hit.
Not that I'm aware of.
Excellent.
It's not actually implied anywhere. It's just it's clear.
That's what happens, boys and girls. Do as you're told.
On nuclear apocalypse. So it's set, I think, about 30 years after the end of Far Cry 5. So people started emerging from the bunkers a few years previous to this. The world sort of recovered itself. Everything's a bit weird. So you've got purple lions and that sort of stuff running around.
As you do.
As you do, deer growing out. And there's all that sort of weird stuff.
Unicorns now actually exist because of internet trolls.
Yeah, well, basically all the monsters are mutated. Everything there's like this massive bloom of plants, or you got all everywhere. It's really colourful. So unlike most pocket games which are brown, this is the opposite. It's really bright and cheerful.
Yeah,
and
because
colourful.
humans haven't been around to fuck it up.
Yeah, exactly. And all the plants are gone all strange colours. Looks really nice. It looks really pretty. Mm-hmm. So people emerge.
Just one second, because isn't that the case with Chernobyl?
Yeah,
Like, that actually looks rather pretty.
it does in parts. I
In
want
the
to go to
grand scheme.
Chernobyl.
Yeah. I heard that they've got like walk around tours,
You
haven't
can
they?
go on tours on Chernobyl. I would like to go on one.
It's our next holiday. Ran Nerds, broadcast live from the site of Chernobyl.
Well, episode 150, we go to Chernobyl. It's a thing. Episode 150, we're at Chernobyl.
How long is that away?
One episode 114 now.
So it's a fair while, so I've got time to get a
it's
passport.
so that's 36. Well, let's put it this way: it's 36 episodes away. We do them fortnightly, which means it's going to take 72 weeks to get there, which means only a year and a bit.
Considering some of the stuff I've said on this podcast, what do you think the likelihood is that I'm going to get a passport?
Probably better than me. But yeah, we'll go to Chernobyl.
I'm smiling.
We'll broadcast in the radiation zone.
Which, of course, we're immune to because we're country bumpkins.
I'm going to say, when we start our broadcast, we'll go, right, lads, we've got to be done in 2 hours because that's how long we hit the dose limit. And we've time to set these set up as well. But none of this stuff about to come back with us because it'll all be irradiated. Yeah.
Maybe the cause light at that point will be the world's most refreshing beer.
Vodka? You're in Ukraine now, mate. Vodka?
Yeah, but that's not a beer, is it? That's the world's
That's
most
what you drink. Vodka purges radiation. I've learnt this on both Stalker and Metro 2033. Vodka is the cure for radiation poisoning.
Now you know.
Who knew? Yeah, the Russians.
The Russians!
But yeah, so it's setting this all for so because I didn't like the end of Far Cry 5. I felt that was a real kick in the teeth.
Yeah.
To me, because I felt all the stuff I'd done, all the work I put in to save
Every
this town,
ending was basically shit.
And I felt real kick to it actually put me off Far Cry 3. Playing this
Far
game
Cry
is
3?
Far Cry 5.
Sorry.
Playing this game has slightly redeemed it in my eyes because you now find out what happened to all the characters in Far Cry 5. What happened to them? Because you play the the two characters.
Your new characters in this.
Your new character. There are some new characters, some existing characters. A lot of people from the previous game reappear. Well, for starters, so the basic storyline is these people set up a town called Prosperity, and all going well into this group of like marauders being called the Highwaymen, and they're basically also setting up a new society, but forcefully. And they basically turn up and say, right, you're us. You're going to be part of us now. Give us all your stuff, or die.
Sounds very British.
It is very British, yeah. And Highwaymen in this area, the Highwaymen is across the whole of the United States, but in this area it's led by a pair of twins called, I think it's Mickey and Lou.
Oh
they're
yeah,
the
they're the
twins.
ones on the cover, aren't they?
They are, and they're twins. They
I
basically
keep forgetting the bad guys are usually on the
Yeah.
cover since 3.
yeah, and they lead this, and they're the ones who come basically. They sort of like they're sort of like this chapter, as it were, in this area. Like I said, it's a national. I mean, this group is very powerful. They've got access to planes and so forth. They're a really powerful group, but these are like the local leaders in this area. So they basically say, right, you're ours. They kidnap the father of this. The game starts by telling this daughter called Camilla says, my father was kidnapped. My mother was, she sort of made us start rebuilding again because you want to give up. You there found out within like sort of like an hour, you find out that her father is Nick Rye, who's one of the companions in Far Cry 5.
Okay.
And her mother is Kim Rye, who you also meet in Far Cry 5. And that's their daughter who they give birth to in Far Cry 5.
Okay.
So that's how it's linked together. So
Neat.
it is neat, actually, yeah, because you are sort of, it's like, I like Nick, and then I found out, I thought he might have been, because it's implied heavily, everybody dies at the end of Far Cry 5, but no, they're not. They somehow got to a bunker.
Good job, whoever you two were.
Yeah, so we those two, and a lot of the other characters have reappeared, so it's obviously not been totally devastating. And yeah, you're playing. Your character is just called the Captain, and you play a male, female, as you in the Deputy in Far Cry 5. You're now the Captain, and you work for this guy called Thomas Rush, and he's also in the process of rebuilding the United States, and he's the nice guy. He's rebuilding it and basically restoring democracy. He's basically working his way across. He's also quite powerful. They've got access to a train and so forth. Basically, Prospect says, "Can you come help us rebuild?" And he goes, yes. And as they're coming in, you go in and you get ambushed. Your train gets blown up off the tracks. The highwaymen ambush you and basically say, this is our turf. And you manage to escape him, and he gets captured initially. And then you escape. Like all Far Cry games start, you do something that's quite normal. You get ambushed. You get the bad guys come talk to you right in your face. And then you escape, and then the game starts.
You realise they're a bunch of pricks, and then you're like, I am going to spend the rest of the game
killing lots of them.
And then I'm going to fuck you up.
Yes.
And I'm going to fucking enjoy it for you being a dick 30 hours before.
Yes. So, and then it starts playing quite normal Far Cry 5. So you can customize. Now, unlike previous Far Cries, you can customize your character and how they look. In all the other Far Cries, it didn't matter because you never saw them apart from that initial screen. But in this one, there's cutscenes where you see yourself in third person, so you see yourself. You sort of like goes to where you take out an outpost. You know, when you used to take out an outpost, you used to go to the scene with all the people moving in.
Yeah.
Now you get to see your guy. So I decided, right, I want to.
When was that actually established? Everyone moving in. I remember
Far Cry 3. I'm sure.
Was it? I don't remember.
I think Far Cry there wasn't a cutscene. I think it was Far Cry 5 definitely had the cutscene where you saw him moving in. But I think in the previous Far Cry's, it just became yours, and then people just drove up. There was no actual cutscene show because Far Cry 5, you actually see him like, or in this one, you see him like doing stuff like they'll be like taking the old tarp, putting like new banners up and that sort of stuff, repairing things and so forth. So I decided to create my character. I thought, right, who's going to save America? So you can pick a variety of play people. I decided to pick the Asian guy, who's a Chinese looking guy. Right. I then was looking for the various clothing options. And there's one that there's a military uniform that looks very similar to the Chinese military. So I picked that. So in my canon, the Chinese guy from the China is saving America. But then I decided to give him a moustache. So what did I pick? And sort of 1940s British generals, those big handlebar moustaches. He's got one of those. He looks awesome. It's just like sort of Chinese guy, and he stands this massive handlebar moustache, and he's like sort of like public army of China uniform as he's taking over and winning back America.
Well, yeah, because
America saved by the Chinese. It's brilliant.
China's like, I need someone to fuck with, and you guys were fun 30 years ago, so come on, let's do this.
I just the idea of like we're sending you to America to help retake it. But they won't take you seriously unless you've got a moustache. We think this is what they're wearing at the moment, and he grows a big handlebar moustache. It's awesome. He looks brilliant. I was my proud.
Screenshots will be put on the. On the blog
I was literally I will find a screenshot. I was literally when I was going through the character customization, I just clicked and I just started laughing. I was like, "That's my character. Here he is." So I picked him. It plays very much like normal Far Cry. I don't think it's going to be as long as the other Far Cry. It definitely feels like it's got more of a pace to it. But it's the usual things happen, you'll go around, it's living, breathing world, so like you'll come across convoys, you'll come across... So they've changed a few things, so you don't have couriers anymore like you have in previous games. You've now got like scavengers, because there's no money. So you scavenge all your you scavenge stuff, and then you use that to craft weapons rather than buying them. And all the weapons are like sort of made up of bits of materials you find. It's a bit Metro-y.
Yeah.
You've basically, or you might like do like you can do knockoff Kalashnikovs and stuff like that, where you've like just made them because everybody knows about Kalashnikov apparently in America. Yeah, and it's all like all your weapons, like my sniper rifle. For some reason, I've had my old one. I've just got upgraded it now. For some reason, it had on its side with a scope where you adjust a scope as an old like stopcock valve. It's all stuff like that, and like these silencers are all made out of like old spray paint cans and stuff.
As you do.
So it's all that sort of thrown together type stuff asset it's going for. What other sort of so you don't have crews, you have scavengers you kill and you can scavenge and take money off them. What other thing a couple of things it's changed now. So whenever you discover an area will have like a number of resources of like specific type of resource. Like this area you've got, free duct tape. And when you find them more, you like sort of clear the area as it were once you found all three. There'll be other resources there as well, but they're the free ones that
okay.
Resource. So the idea is when you're looking at if you really need, and they'll have lots of it as well. Because you may pick up a duct tape, but might add like 10 or might add 100 to your thing. So if you're looking for lots of it, you find an area that's got a place, and it'll show on the map like this area has components, this area has duct tape, this area has this, and you'll say, "Oh, I need lots of that. I'll go there and pick it up." So I'm sort of clearing them as I go, as I walk on the map. The other thing is, Far Cry sort of did this in the past, but they've really sort of made it persistent now. Enemies now have ranks and levels, so you have rank 1, 2, 3, and elite. The same goes for weapons as well. Rank 1, 2, 3 weapons, vehicles. Basically, all the main systems now have different levels of ranks. So rank 1 is quite easy to shoot. Where this plays into is outposts. Outposts have always been a big thing about Far Cry. It's probably the best part about Far Cry is taking out an outpost, whether you do it by all guns blazing or if you do it stealthily or try to do it stealthily or mix of the two. It's great fun.
Stealth shotgun.
Indeed. In my case, a sniper from a long way away.
I don't mind engaging my enemy from the next town over through the scope of high-power sniper rifle.
That's the best way to engage your enemy. So you take the outpost, and obviously the outposts take place and they're still in the world. It's not like a separate event, which I quite like because shit happens. So I was in the process of taking out this outpost, level 1. So outposts, like guns, have ranks. There's 3 levels, level 1, 2, and 3. So you first take out an outpost, you've unlocked level 1, then you can at the end of it, you can either keep it or you can scavenge it. If you scavenge it, you get more resources. The main resource you're getting is ethanol. Full, basically.
Right.
And you only really get it from outposts. You can pick up in the world a bit, but it's mainly from outposts you pick it up because you get lots of it. And ethanol is used to upgrade your base. Again, your base has different ranks for all the things, and as you get higher ranks, all the various facilities, you get more stuff unlocked.
Okay.
Craft more things. So your workbench, for example, which you make your weapons, you can't craft level 2 weapons unless you upgrade to a level 2 weapon.
Ethanol.
Petrol.
Workbench.
Don't think about it too hard.
Okay.
Don't think about Look, I also use ethanol to upgrade the healing garden. Don't think about it too hard. I'm just pouring it on there. Like, these plants will grow a lot better now. It's fine.
Clearly, I know nothing.
Yeah.
Magic juice.
Yeah. So first our base would be like quite basic, basic enemies, maybe a alarm and so forth. Second level base, they'll have more alarms. Better enemies will have like bigger health bars, and if they take, they'll call like elite enemies to fight you. Level 3 bases, they'll all be wearing armor, and so forth. They get quite tough. Level 3 are quite tough. I tried taking on a level 3 base in my last live stream when I was still only had rank 2 gear. It did not go well, and in the end, I made a tactical withdrawal and legged it. But that's
the technical term, is it?
Yeah.
I legged it.
Yeah. Well, because it's great because some random events just happen quite nicely. So I was sniping this level 1 base. I'm just on the hill and I'm doing very well, taking that one out, repositioning, taking another one out, repositioning, so forth. And then I've got my dog with me because you have companions in this one as well. And I've got a dog.
Had companions before?
Yeah, in previous one, your companions. And in
What?
Far Cry 2, your companions.
So I don't remember Far Cry 2.
Far Cry 2 was a very long time ago. A lot of people hated Far Cry 2. I didn't mind Far
Was
Cry
that
2.
the one with the mad guy at the end? And you get, or in,
can't
you can
remember.
fuck him up in like a shack or something like that.
Can't remember now. I never completed Far Cry 2.
Ah.
I like Far Cry 2, but I never completed it. It's not one I would recommend playing now.
Don't start
It
on it.
really shows its age now. It is really sloggy, hard going. At the time, it was all right, but it really shows its age now.
Anyway.
So you have companions. So I've got a dog called Timber, and he tags enemies for you and so forth. And I heard him growling at something while I'm doing so, and he usually growls at other wild animals, like scare them off, which doesn't always work. I look, he's growling at a fucking like mountain lion, which then promptly attacks me. So I'm trying to be stealthy to its base, and I'm basically now in combat with this mountain lion, shooting away.
You are
bullets
now
away.
trying not to scream.
Yeah, yeah, basically, and I did try and run towards the base and hope the lion might side.
You were hoping they were going to go, fuck lion! What's that guy doing? Don't worry about him, get the lion!
I was just hoping the lion might go, they look tasty, and go for them instead. It didn't work. All I did was get shot with mortars. But long story short, I managed to fight the mountain lion and I managed to take the base. So all's well in the end.
All's well in the end. I lost the leg, but everything's all right.
I met this trade. So this trader gets into there's trades on the map you can go up to, and you can trade like your skins you collect from animals, and you trade skins, and you can rebuild ammo and all that sort of stuff. You trade stuff from them.
Okay.
I need some ammo, and there's this trader, and I'm really on out. I think I need to go see him. As I'm going to him, he's gone to a fight with some of the highwaymen, and he gets took down. When people die in Far Cry, friendlies, they get a little like countdown bar. If you get there and revive them quick enough, you're right. So I quickly take out the enemies. Now, at the same moment, the area he was in had been set on fire. So I quickly went into the fire, and I'm reviving as the flames starting to lick round our feet. He gets up and goes, "Oh, thank you very much," then catches fire. So he ran out, and he somehow survives the fire. I go out and start talking to him about trading. I literally start talking to him. At this point, a wild buffalo comes out and kills him. It's like, do you just really did not want me to speak to this trade? Did you really did not want me to trade this money with this man, did you?
Well, the next thing that would have happened had he have survived that would have been struck by lightning.
Yeah. Vehicles are fun. You've got usual vehicles and so forth. I did have one moment. I had a bit of a shock. So, this is really nice and neat. Your dog, now, when previous Far Cry's, if you had an animal companion, he's just sort of one behind you and basically teleport behind you. Now, they get in the vehicles with you. So when I get into I got first vehicle I found with my dog was this little motorbike sidecar. So I get on the motorbike and he jumps in the sidecar.
Oh, bless it.
And he just sort of stares at you like, oh, I'm so happy. And I'm driving.
Until he gets shot.
Well, I started driving off and I just put on auto drive because it's got auto drive. So it basically means if you'll follow a road, which is quite, if you get into like a fight, you can just switch on auto drive and you can be aiming and shooting and the car drives itself. I just switched on auto so I could sit there and stare at my dog and go, hello, dog.
Hello, dog. I'm happy now.
I wish there was an option to like pet him while he's in the car. And if you get in a truck, he jumps through the window and gets in the passenger seat in the truck. So you also make sure, obviously, all trucks have the passenger windows down.
I have this funny feeling that you spent a lot of time trying to keep your dog alive.
Well, luckily he's quite tough, and if he dies,
clearly tougher than that trader.
Yeah, and if he does die, you can revive him. I think he requires like 2 bits of meat, and you can revive him in the roster screen.
Eat it!
So in Far Cry 5, they had a cooldown timer, and then they came back. In this one, you just basically have to revive them by basically giving them meat and what have you. They also get better abilities, so as they kill people, they get better abilities. So in his case, after his rank 2 ability, so rank 1, he tags all animals and people, basically. So what you can do is, if you want, it's a bit like setting like a radar. You aim at you at the middle of a base, because enemies don't care about them unless you go aggressive. So as long as you're stealthy, he can wander around and you won't care. And I like to get on top of a hill and just say, just go stand in the middle of that base for me. And he'll run down to the middle of the base, tag everybody, and I'll say, right, come back. And no one's bothered by him. It's quite fun.
Random stray dog just walks into base.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure some people would shoot that little fucking thing.
Well, I recovered him from a dog butchery. They're butchering the dogs for meat.
So how does this dog just walk around?
Yeah. Well, I recovered him and I rescued all his friends. You're pleased to know I rescued all his friends. So yeah, I let him out, but yeah, I use him like a sort of a recon scout. He's actually called the Scout. It's like his little nickname, what type of job he does. So off he goes.
That's the breed of dog.
Yeah. So I've got him. He's got. I've hosted now, but then I was talking to this person. He said, "Oh, I hear that this family's got this big wild boar, which they're trying to capture." Like, hang on, there's a boar called Horatio. So I go over there, and he's got a fucking pig in it you can have as a companion. So I've now got a pig called Horatio who wanders around with me. And he's big, and I go and I pet him, I still tickle his snout. It's great fun. And he's a proper tank. If you go out his far, he just rolls himself on, rolls himself out, and just carries on. So he's absolutely brilliant. He doesn't tag anything though, which is actually, that tag is such a useful thing to have. It's so useful that it's like, oh, I like Horatio, but the tagging is so useful to have. So I have to oh, I wish I could have two. I want to have two animal companions with me, but you can't. Horatio and the other one will be absolutely marvellous. Because again, Far Cry 5, you can have two companions at once. You can only have one in this one, which is a bit of a shame.
It's unfortunate.
So I've talked about that. Other thing it's got in it, which is new. I was talking about vehicles. So look at this vehicle. I jump in this vehicle, and Timber jumps in next to me. And because I can just beep, 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 beep. I think, this isn't good. Quickly jump out of the vehicle, start running. And I just look behind, turn and look. Timber's jumping out of the vehicle, goes, poof! Bloody booby trapped. Poor Timber goes flying and he's knocks unconscious. I have to go revive him again. It's like, wake up, buddy. Wake up.
Wake up, Singe.
Yeah, so, it's like, I remember I ran to, because, they've modelled singeing on Timber. So I go to Tim, and he got caught in the fire and was knocked unconscious. And I went and saw, and your method of reviving is you saw pat him and say, wake up. And he wakes up, and I saw pet him, and all his fur's singed, and it's like big brown blackbird. It's like, you look awful, I need to get you to a vet. He sort of recovers after a while himself, fortunately. I felt really bad at that point. The other thing it's got is called expeditions. So you want your people in your base. So I've talked a bit about home base. Your home base has got like all these different facilities. So you've got like a map station, a place where you can train, training grounds. And if you upgrade that, your guns get higher ranks. They get more health, better abilities and so forth, better aiming and so forth. Vehicle station, which you upgrade to craft vehicles. There's a healing garden, which gives you like better recipes. Explosives, where you can upgrade different types of explosives. And our piercing rounds, for some reason, are upgraded at the explosive station. Don't ask. But there's also this helicopter station, which you can upgrade. If you do that, you gain access to these expeditions, which are basically like a little self-contained mini level. And the pilot, he'll fly you out there, and there's basically a bag of goodies there. So you get dropped off there. You have to approach as you normally would, stealthily, aggressively, whatever you want. So the first one you get to is this like big aircraft carrier. And you basically approach and sneak in. I snuck in sort of like very carefully with throwing knives, taking people out. And then you get the GPS, the bag. The GI's got a GPS counter on it. And once you pick it up, you've got 30 seconds before they start tracking you. And then when you get to the extraction zone, you don't get extracted immediately. It's a 2-minute wait from getting to the extraction zone to him arriving. Which means as soon as you've got basically hold the fort and have this last stand for 2 minutes until he gets there. So it's like a little mini level. Because they're doing that, it means they can do completely different things. So that aircraft carrier wouldn't fit in with the theme of the other area. But it can be its own little self-contained. I've done the second expedition, which is to a bridge, which is the middle of the Navajo Desert. So again, it's all deserty. So it's like a little different environment to play around in. And you can redo them afterwards. You can go back. They rank up as well.
All right.
So you have rank 1, 2, and 3. And as you go, but you can just do them as many times as you like, go back and redo them, which is quite nice. It's a lot of... It feels a lot more gamey. Like I know it sounds a weird thing to say, but it feels like they've made it more so you can actually... just replay for it's almost like more like a toy box type setup.
Yeah, okay.
I'm really enjoying it.
But weren't you on the fence about it to start with?
At first I was,
because of the Far Cry 5 stuff.
Yes. Now I've played it, because I'm now starting to meet... It's offered a bit of... I think towards Far Cry 5, because it ends and you know nothing about what all the people happened. So all the people you've got invest in their characters, because they're quite good characters in Far Cry 5. But most people, I like most of the companions, because they've got... When you have them as yours, they've got a lot of dialogue with you, they'll chat with you, they chat with each other. So if you get two of them, they'll talk to each other and have chats with each other.
Okay.
So there's a lot of you got to know them. And then you end Far Cry 5, you don't know what happened to any of them. This one's sort of answering the blanks. So for the characters in the previous one I've encountered obviously Nick. Well, Nick I know he's out there. I've not rescued him yet, but I know he's out there. Kim Rai. There's a chap called Pastor Jerome, who's in Far Cry 5, who I've met. I've rescued. There's Grace, who was one of your companions. She was a sniper. She's now gone. She was quite old in Far Cry 5. She's now gone blind.
Okay.
So she's not a sniper anymore.
do that.
But what she does now is build really powerful guns. So she's now built this. You built one as well, but she built a more powerful version called a saw launcher, and it's basically a crossbow crossed with circular saw blades, and you fire it, and they bounce between enemies, and that's quite devastating actually. Crap, they just bounce around, just literally sawing people up.
Sounds like I can't
Unreal
remember
Tournament's
yeah.
launcher. That's what I thought when I first was like, this is the Unreal Tournament launcher. What was it called? Was it the disc launcher?
I can't remember off the top.
Ripper. It was the Ripper from Unreal Tournament.
So I haven't played that game in so long.
So yeah, I have to say I was very on the fence about it. It really sort of put me off playing it, and also because I also find with Far Cry games, because the way the mechanics work, they can be a little bit, you can burn out on them. They have to have a bit of a rest in between. So the Far Cry's have been spaced out usually every couple of years, so that's enough time for me to have a rest and get back into them. And because I played all that DLC recently, I thought I did feel if I'm going to play it, I'm not going to get on with it very well because I'm going to get a bit burnt out. But actually, I'm really enjoying it.
Sure.
It's they've jumped up and sort of mixed up the formula enough
To make it feel fresh.
yeah, or
Fresh enough.
familiar, but different. Different, in, it feels like it's definitely changed. And I'm sort of feeling about it. I got home from the farm today, I got a bit late, thought, have I got time to stream for a couple of hours before I go to Luke's? I thought, no, I haven't got enough time, unfortunately. But I am going to keep sort of streaming it when I can, between work commitments and so forth. But I'm going to
Mention that you're streaming it on your channel.
Yes, you're on twitch.tv/TheSuffolkRam. I can't promise when I'll be on there.
You're basically the same as me. Just whenever I can be bothered.
It's when I can find the time.
Yeah.
I'm imagining do like a couple hours a night, because that's really all I can sort of fit in at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to do more, but I might like sort of, I get like a good afternoon, I might like do 4 or 5 hours or something. But
Yeah.
really great fun. Great fun. So yeah, recommend it. Far Cry New Dawn.
Awesome.
Skazz!
Games we've been playing. Nice.
What?
I know. You freaked out yet?
Yeah.
Do you like Twitch and Rock and
I have
Mouse
to say, I've just noticed something. We've got 555 views. What think of the timing of that?
No one's watching though, right?
2 viewers are watching.
Fuck. All right, well, people are going to hear this then. All right. Much like you, there's a game that I've been avoiding for a while for random reasons that are really quite empty in the grand scheme. Anyone that knows me personally will know that I am a Linux user. I do like my Linux operating system. I do like Linux gaming. And I really don't like the Xbox. I'm actually kind of going off consoles all in recently. If a company does something that winds me up, I tend to avoid them until they die. But then I realize that doesn't work because no one else avoids them, so they don't actually die. People are like, oh, there's the shiny, I'm going to buy that.
Yeah, unfortunately, companies aren't live or die based on whether Skazz buys them or not.
Sad, really. Sad. I should have more.
Unless you're Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, I buy way too many of those. I bought an A+. Model 3 A+. And the keyboard. I bought the keyboard too. And the mouse.
Haven't you got a spare USB keyboard and mouse?
Oh, I've got loads, but still, I got...
Well, why do you need so many keyboards for?
Because it's got a Raspberry Pi logo on it.
You got more keyboards than like a sort of 1970s prog rock band.
Yeah. That's a good one. That was good. That's good for you. That's good for you. Let's put it this way. I've probably got more computers than an old hacker movie. In the grand scheme.
Yeah. I must admit, when I look on your little... I call it the broom cupboard upstairs.
Yeah, sure.
Because it makes me think of Philip Schofield from the broom cupboard days back on BBC. I hope people out there remember that, because that's
probably not.
That's a very niche reference. Do you remember that? At least tell me you remember the broom
little.
cupboard. That's the sort of another day. When I go in your room, it's like there's cables everywhere. And I think this does look a bit like those sort of hacker films where you go in the hacker's room. There's just bits of computers there, and they're all doing something, and they're all like, there's this guy, and we were just tapping away randomly on a keyboard. It's doing magic, and it's like, oh, I need to hack the Pentagon. Shh, I'm in.
I'm in.
It is like that. It is like, when you go and you film, there's that one guy who's the hacker who like is a bit of a recluse, and he's all about sort of a bit of a conspiracy theories and wears a tinfoil hat. That's basically your room upstairs. Mm-hmm. So
I've been told that many a time.
Yeah.
Many a time.
You're like that guy in I think is it the one that I said one of the shitty Die Hards. There's been quite a few. One of the last, the more recent one, where they sort of like hack the entire
Die Hard 4.
Yeah, and they say, "Oh, how are we going to find this hacker? Look for the only house with the lights on." I thought that's inconspicuous, isn't it?
That's it. The one there, fucking Kevin Smith, because he's got generators running on all of his stuff.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's inconspicuous. No one's going to notice that, are they?
Wow,
that was worth it.
He'd have been looted like fuck.
Yeah.
The second people realised he was the only one with power, they would have looted the shit out of him and a friend.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I started shitting over Sony last year because my PlayStation 4 died. It felt like even longer ago. It was like a year and a half now. Been shitting over them because my console flash fried itself during Monster Hunter. Completely unreliable. I'd had enough of it. Even wiping the drive, replacing the drive, putting upgraded firmware, wiping the whole drive, putting fresh firmware
so
on it.
So it was a proper hardware fault, not a
it was
fault.
not working at all. So I was like, you know what, balls to this. And then with their recent, we don't do cross-play and censorship practices, I was like, you know what? They've actually stopped random games from Japan coming over to the West because they're like, no, we don't want them on our platform. Yeah. Which is weird because then Nintendo are picking them up. Nintendo, I'm shitting over.
Family-friendly Nintendo.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. Family-friendly Nintendo have kind of more hardcore booby physics in Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball than
weird
Sony.
How Nintendo and Sony are sort of slightly swapping roles.
Yes, it's bizarre. Sony have been hit in the head and they've gone a bit Nintendo. Never go full Nintendo. Not even Nintendo goes full Nintendo. Nintendo have been crapping over because of the build quality of their console, the Switch, which after a month, by the way, Nintendo, you had it for a month. You're 7 to 10 day turnaround, a month. But you did a good job. Just took you a while to do.
It's 7 working days, and it's Nintendo working days, and you work one day a week. You got it early. What are you complaining about?
I apologise, Nintendo. I know it's hard. I mean, in fairness, we spoke about scale and all that today. So they are going to have a fair few consoles fuck up. But still, the one that I've been shitting on the longest has probably been since that E3 announcement before the console released. Microsoft's. The Xbox. I had Xbox.
I love the way I'll go Hershey at Microsoft, but I've got a Windows-based PC.
Yeah, I was going to say, you rock Windows 10 like a beast. I should hate this console and that company, being a Linux user and all that kind of stuff. And I don't really like their console. I didn't like their practices, way back when the Xbox was announced. It was just really fucking bizarre to me.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, you realise that when a company's really getting kicked in the dick, they'll bend over backwards for the consumer.
Yeah.
And Microsoft has been doing a reasonably okay job of that, whereas Sony have gone a bit, I'm a tyrant.
Got too big.
Yeah. They've gone and done what Microsoft did at the start of the generation. They were like, oh, people will buy what the fuck ever we want because we had the most popular thing last time.
The Xbox 360 outdo the PlayStation?
I think the PlayStation 3 might have caught up towards the end, but most people I knew rocked on Xbox. Even though it was unreliable as fuck. Most people that I knew bought Xboxes. Very few people I knew had PS3s. Mainly because they were too expensive to start with and also unreliable. But no one remembers that. So, I don't like Windows 10.
The 360 was such a fantastic bit of engineering. Revving to death.
Yeah, don't get me started with that. I took a motherboard. I took a board out of an Xbox 360, and it actually started to kind of spot. Yeah, look, it warped because of the heat and the way it had been clamped together, the corners were slightly off from each other, so it bowed in the middle like a fucking...
How hot do you have to get to do that to a printed circuit board?
I'd imagine pretty fucking hot. Pretty fucking hot. I mean, you got the thing is though, the way that the thing was clamped together just didn't seem very good to me. Anyway, I own an Xbox One. I've owned an Xbox One for many years. I bought an Xbox One brand new, limited edition.
Before they were cool.
Well, I bought a limited edition Xbox One, brand spanking new with a stack full of games, cheaper than if I'd have walked into town and bought one from a regular retailer, from a regular retail store. I very rarely put any use into it. The interface sucked, and it still does, and they kind of changed the interface over time, but it still sucked. Anyway, roll forwards with my hatred of Nintendo and Sony, and fuck you, Sony, for your recent announcement, you pricks. I've been playing Sea of Thieves.
I've heard good things about Sea of Thieves.
My fucking god, mate. I remember when it came out, and I was like, pirate game. A big-ass, like, open pirate game where I can do kind of whatever I want, as long as what I want to do is sail and get drunk.
Yeah.
But it was on the Xbox, or if you want to get it on Windows, the Windows 10 store. And I wasn't running Windows 10 at the time, I don't think. I might have been, but I was like, I ain't buying anything on the Windows 10 store. That's dog shit. So just recently was the anniversary, the 1 year anniversary of Sea of Thieves. And I thought, you know what? I've wanted this game for fucking ages. I'm bored. I'm pissed off. Let's have a go. Picked it up. And my fucking god, I'm glad I did. Because that game is goddamned amazing. So, Sea of Thieves is an online kind of open world arcadey pirate simulator.
Yeah.
Where...
But it's not like massive. It's like, you know, you might find a group of another 4 players and stuff like that. Or it's not like hundreds of players or something like, is it?
Right, so a server is split up into sessions, and a session caps out at 16 players.
Yes. It's...
From what I understand. So it's not a huge number of people. The map is pretty big. And I'll get into that in a second. So you play random no-name pirate going to search for riches and fame and whatever it is pirates do. You know, diamond-encrusted dildos or something like that. I don't fucking know.
My ass.
That was a bit Norfolk, but, you know.
All pirates are basically Norfolk.
Very much. It was very, very, well, probably more educated than the
Look,
average.
Nelson came from Norfolk, and I'm sure his pirate cousin came from there as well.
Right. When you start the game, you make a very crappy character. First complaint, character creation. You don't create a character. You don't. They give you there's like a set of pre-made pirates stood in a tavern. You can pick one of the ones that's pre-made, or you hit favorites and then hit refresh, and then it will just disintegrate all of the pirates that are there and then generate new ones.
So it's randomly generated.
Yeah, the characters, kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. You eventually...
It's not like days when you just have pick a skin. It's
yeah, they will kind of change things up a bit. Now you pick the one you want, give your character a name. In this case, that will be your Xbox character, your Xbox gamer tag, or your Windows 10 tag thing, whatever. And then you get dropped into a pub. You're completely pissed out your face, sloshed. You grab a bag of money and you find a note, and the note says, "Talk to random stranger." This random bloke in the pub will set you off on your quest, and depending on how you talk to him, he will point you in different directions. He'll either say, like, here's a place where you can go to do a quest, or you can just say, fuck you, mate, I'm going outside, where's my boat, I'm going to find my own adventure. So, it's very loose. It doesn't really tell you what to do outside of talking to the stranger. The stranger will say, I've got a chest, go and flog it. And then when you get there, so it'll tell you how to sell chests, where to go to buy things.
It's a basic tutorial, basically.
Yeah, if you consider a tutorial going to change your hair or a beard or something like that, because all the stuff is cosmetic. It doesn't do anything. weapons, clothes.
So I don't mind that. I quite.
Yeah, they don't do anything. I mean, if you want to walk around in your underpants all day, you will be at the exact same stats as someone who has played for like the entire time of the game.
See, I quite like that because I like it.
I like that
I
too.
don't like it when that armor's far superior to what I have, but it looks shit. I've either got to be under, a massive disadvantage, but I like how I look, or have the really good stuff, but hate how I look.
Yeah.
I'd rather it be an independent. You can assign this stat to this armor, so it doesn't matter what you wear, you still look good.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you have base stats when you start the game. That's it. Your clothes, your weapons, they don't change any of that.
D1 Windsor says hello or hi. Hey.
Hi.
Hey, to be exact. Hey, D1 Windsor.
You've come in at a really bad time. I'm now going to be talking shit for the next God knows how long about a game that I don't really understand.
Doesn't we do every week? Every fortnight?
Yes, but new people, so we have to make that clear. And
Welcome to Round Nerds.
I've had one of the world's most refreshing beers.
Yep, Coors Light.
Which isn't true.
Very cheap.
So,
if you live in the UK, Asda, £12 for 18 cases.
And I didn't buy it.
Can't go wrong. Well, you can't. You can go a lot better, but you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. But we have. This is basically the only thing you get as a tutorial.
Right. We're talking about Sea of Thieves to our new joiner.
Yeah, where you can buy gear, what each faction is, and then that's it. So there are different traders. You've got the gold hoarders where you can take treasure chests that you've dug up. The Order of Souls where you can take these skulls of dead things for reputation and gold. The merchants, which are the ones that you'd normally think of when you think of piracy. You rock around the islands, you find chickens, gunpowder, different foods and things that you can take back to trade with them for reputation and gold, and they will give you jobs to deliver items around the random islands in the game.
Dion says, prefers Bullers supermarket drink.
Ooh.
I'm going to have to severely disagree with you on that one.
In fairness, doesn't taste much better or worse than
Coors
this
Light
shit.
isn't particularly... I mean, yeah.
It's pretty shit.
It's probably... Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they're probably of a similar level.
I mean, you could go and lick a toilet seat. You'd probably get a better kick out of that than this. But
Yeah.
probably not advised, but...
No, we don't recommend our listeners do that.
But you never know. If you ever want a kick, that might be something to try. Tell me how it goes.
Brand owners cannot be held responsible for any toilet-related injuries or incidents resulting from listening to our advice.
It's not really advice. We're just doing it to troll you. But that's basically it. You've got that's as far as the game will go, telling you what to do. Okay, in the grand scheme.
I have heard it's basically, just sort yourselves out yourself.
Yeah, the game doesn't tell you how to sail. It doesn't tell you how to adjust the sails to the wind.
Do you
think
think it's very much the game? The idea is you're meant to be playing with 3 or 4 people as a group and sort of discovering it together.
It does become more of a laugh when you play with more people, but I'll get to that. So, the game just dumps you off on a random island. There are outposts scattered around this world map. The world map does not change, but the outpost you start on changes pretty much every time you log in. You better fucking learn how to navigate without waypoints. Because the game ain't going to give you any. It's not going to tell you where to go. It's not going to tell you what to do. And I've shown this game to a few friends. They got the game, and within the first hour, they were screaming bloody murder at me because they couldn't quite figure out what to do. So I log into.
Do you get tools like a sextant and stuff like that?
You literally just get a compass.
What do you need?
Well, that's what
Turn left at east.
Well, what I say to people is so you couldn't literally figure out how to use a compass. No, well, I couldn't figure out where to go. So you went down below decks, and there's a fucking massive chart with islands, right? And you're thinking, that's where I am now, and I want to go here, and that island is southeast from where I am, so, compass out, I better go that way. How was that difficult?
Does the map show you where you are? Or
It will tell you where you are, but that's it. It won't tell you where an island is. What you basically get is...
So it's not like you have to try and work out which island you're around.
No, it will tell you where you are, but it won't tell you which one you have to go to. I mean, literally, you could go to Gold Hoarder, which is the guys who give you chests to bury up. They're like, dig up, sorry. And they'll say, here's the map with an X on it. And you're like, here's an island, but there's no name on it.
What the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Right, so then you go down onto your boat, and there are different kinds of boats. Again, I'll get to that in a second. And you go to your chart, and you're like, scrolling around the map. This looks similar. Mark that on the map. Now I have to find out how to sail there. I have to just sail to that map and make sure, see if I'm right. And then find the treasure and then take it back. You have the same kind of thing with the Order of Souls. They're skeletons to kill people or kill, the undead or whatever. But they will literally tell you the name of the island. And then you find the island on the map and then navigate there. Merchants will tell you basically, dick all, go and find the things that we want. Wood, gunpowder, food, whatever it is. Go fucking find it and then go deliver it where we tell you to within a certain time. Otherwise, fuck you.
I suppose the idea is to play it more and more, you'll get to know.
Yeah, you'll eventually learn what the islands look like. You'll eventually learn where they are in relation to other
navigate,
islands.
Oh, we're so-and-so place. We need to go left here to get here.
And you'll basically go like, I can. You basically learn the map. It is as tame as a piracy simulator can be. There is nothing really there other than be a pirate. Okay, you can loot other ships. You can kill other crews. You can sink other people's ships. You can steal their ships if you want to.
Yeah.
Just, little.
Are there like
bits.
NPC ships in there which you
Yes.
can attack?
Yeah, you'll have like the undead skeleton crews will just rise from the sea. Krakens will appear and drag you down to the depths. Megalodons, like fucking giant sharks, will turn up, and you can get rewards for killing those or surviving those, and little bits like that. Or you can just decide to run away. Now, ships. Ships are an interesting one. You choose them at the start of your session. The game has a limit of 16 players, and basically, depending on what... Each ship has a maximum limit of people that can be on board that ship.
Isn't it 4 from what I remember?
4 is a galleon, 2 is a sloop, 3 is the one that no one likes, the middle one. If you pick a sloop at the start of your session, the smallest one, you can only have 2 people in your crew, you and 1 other person. If you pick a galleon, you and 3 other people, 4 max on that ship. 4. You can get other people from other crews to come and stand on your ship, but that means dick. They will not get rewarded for just cruising around with you.
So they can't interact with anything, or can they interact with stuff?
They can. They can come in and they can cause you to drop anchor. They can
disrupt you, but they could help, but they're not going to get anything from it.
Yeah, unless you form an alliance with them. So then this is a new thing I believe from the update. 2 ships, 2 crews can meet, form an alliance, fly the same flag, and then if I get quests and complete it, the other crew will get half.
And do you get half?
Well, I get the full amount from what I understand, and then they get half. So if they hand in, they get the full amount, and then I get half. So I don't quite know the mechanics on that one.
How big can an alliance be? Because my thing is, with only 16 players...
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I've only ever formed an alliance once. And let me put it this way. As soon as you've got another ship on your side, you pretty much steamroll people.
That's what I mean, because it seems... that sort of thing works fine if it's with lots of hundreds of players, because you're going to have lots of big alliances forming.
Yeah.
But with only 16 players, that seems very easy.
The likelihood of you forming an alliance in this game, though, is very slim. Very fucking slim. People will shoot and ask questions later. They don't waste their time talking to you. Yeah. They will fire at you even if they're in a piss-poor ship. The other cool thing is you then get to repair your own ship. So if you're in the middle of a battle at sea, you have to repair damage to the hull just by taking wood that you can pick up from islands, and your ship will have a stock at the start.
I was going to sell that.
You end up using it to repair the ship. You have to bail out if not your ship sinks. When you sail through storms, your boat fills with water because obviously water comes in from the deck. Just other little bits and bobs like that.
So how tactical is the ship combat? Is it like broadsides and sort of crossing the T and that sort of stuff?
It's reasonable. I mean, it's reasonable. Like sometimes you will have to point your sails to the wind. You can cut people off. It's reasonable. I mean, let's be fair. How reasonable would you say it would be for a sloop to take out a galleon?
Unlikely.
In this game, you fucking easy mode.
Really?
Yeah. In fairness, a sloop has quite an advantage over a lot of other ships in that
It's
game.
quite fast.
Yes.
Can you can you only use your ship weapons? Have you got your own personal? So could you have some players
You have
shooting arrows at the sloop as
you
well?
have
or-
pistols, blunderbuss, other stuff like that, like the equivalent of a sniper rifle, I suppose.
Yeah, I was saying, could you be using player combat against as well as ship combat against enemy vessels?
I don't know if your like regular guns and that will help against a ship, but
Against players on the ship, though.
yeah, you can fuck them up.
Yeah.
You can fuck them up. What else is there? Death doesn't mean anything in the game. You don't lose anything for dying. When you complete a quest, completing a quest doesn't really do anything for you. You don't really get a huge reward for that. Your reward comes from finding the treasure, finding the skull, finding the materials that you need to sell. Your ass has got to get that stuff back to an outpost. If not, you get dick. So if you're playing the game and you've just dug up a treasure chest and another crew loot you, you're fucked. They've just gone. You could have wasted hours getting that chest. They've taken it. They've got the reward, and they will, a lot.
Is that do you feel that's a bad design choice as part of the game to allow that to happen?
It's a bit tedious because some of these missions can go on for a long fucking time, and the game doesn't save your progress through the mission. As you log into a session, you start fresh. So even if you're in the middle of a story mission, if you stop, say, 2/3 of the way through the story mission, back to the start you go.
Of that story mission.
Yes.
You don't like lose everything. It's just
The only thing you really keep is your gold. Your gold and the cosmetics that you've bought with that gold. Because your ship changes every single time you log in. You might have a sloop one day, a galleon the next.
So it's less sort of like it's actually got you've got to think of it almost more like team like Battlefield or Team Fortress and less.
Yes, on the sea.
Yeah.
There's it's literally just imagine that. I hadn't really thought of it like that, but yeah, it's basically imagine team deathmatch on the sea.
Yeah.
Um,
And in the sessions, are they always in the same place, or does the map get randomized?
no, the map is exactly the same. The layouts of the islands are exactly the same. You will learn how to navigate the map without looking at the map.
So you'll get
Eventually.
so you have an experienced player have an advantage of an experienced player.
Oh yes, God yes.
You go, oh, I know there's a little way I can sneak around them if I head this way, and
Yes.
so forth.
And experienced players will fucking wreck you in ship battles because they're going to know how their ship handles, how best to maneuver that ship around tight spaces.
But with only 3 types of ship, I would have thought that'd be quite.
It's quite tricky to learn. It really is quite tricky to learn. I mean, I've never seen... There's a guy in our team who occasionally comes in. He's considered a pirate legend. He's maxed out each merchant class. He's level 50 in every respective guild or whatever, and he's done the story. I have never seen anyone maneuver a boat as well as him.
Yeah.
He knows exactly when to trim the sails, exactly how to angle the sails. He will pull up right up to a jetty in a galleon with no fucking trouble, whereas most people just drop anchor and fuck off overboard. He's got this game's physics down solid. I saw him.
Glad you got him on your team then.
Yes, because I saw the guy single-handedly take out a galleon. Just him solo, take out a galleon. 4 crew members and then sunk the fucking thing solo. Him. By himself. One-man wrecking crew.
So
I
he's
saw him
Blackbeard,
single-handedly take out the Kraken. One guy. With a fucking pistol. Take out the Kraken. On a sloop. No galleon. Sloop.
So do you get any cool character upgrades? You say cosmetics, but do you get any guys still like? Can you get better like shooting or better at?
No.
No.
That's all down to the player.
So well, that's neat.
All down to skill.
That's very neat. It's all down to skill. That's very neat.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. It seems like I think too many modern, especially online games, have just put so many layers, all extra stuff on. That it's nice to have one that's actually stripped all out. And it's disbound down to your abilities.
It is pretty empty, and I will say that the game is not going to hold your hand, and it's not going to take pity on you when another player comes up and fucks you up.
But at the same time, because it's every time you start a session, it's all back to square one.
Yep.
you're not really losing anything.
No, I mean you will be if you've spent 6 hours and you've filled your decks, or you've filled your holds and covered your deck in treasure, and then all of a sudden you get sunk. Then you're fucked. But if you play smart, you shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah, and I suppose the trick is to not do that.
Yeah, don't get too cocky.
And go back and
because we had that. We actually had some pirate legends attack us. At one point, they were in a much smaller ship than us, and we were in a galleon. We were just chilling out outside an outpost, me and a group of friends. They attacked us. They stole. I was then about to hand in a chest, and one of them put a bullet in my head. And they stole our chest and went to go and hand it in. But rather than selling it right there, they went back to their ship. And they didn't think we were going to attack. They started firing on us, and we wrecked the shit out of them. And it turns out that we only had one chest. We were very new at this point. We didn't really know what we were doing. We had this one chest. They attacked us for one chest. They tried to board us. They tried to sink us. They found nothing. We fucked them up, and their boat was loaded with over 20 grand in gear.
So payday.
Yeah, basically. The trolls got fucked up. It didn't pay to be trolls that day. Because we proper wrecked them. But then, had they have logged out, they would have lost all that anyway. I'll be back in a second.
Oh no, don't leave me.
Don't leave you. Entertain everyone.
How?
Think about things to ask.
About things to ask. Right, listeners, what can we ask him? The more random, the better. Think about things to ask. He's obviously gone off for something important. Oh, he's gone to the loo. Exciting things. Let's think. This is great live streaming material. I hope you're enjoying this. Well, I really do not know what to say. Well, I've heard lots of good things about Sea of Thieves. It's nice to see Skazz talking about it. It's a bit different from Yeast, which we've had lots of, but he seems to be enjoying it. That's good. Oh dear. Thank you. Yes, there's nothing like a bit of silence, is there? Because it's like, what the fuck do I do? I mean, I do live streaming, games. I find stuff to talk about here, but yeah, just seeing randomly with one person, I have no idea what to do. I mean, it's not like I've only been doing this for 6 years, so it's not like I've got any experience doing this. I mean, I've recorded videos by myself doing stuff, so, I mean, random, that sounded very wrong. He's back.
Okay, I thought that was going to be
He's back.
That plague you had the other fucking week where you kept on coughing all the time?
Yeah.
I've got that, and I thought I was going to have a massive coughing fit.
Oh, good.
And it didn't happen.
Oh, good. Yeah, it all went to hell while you were away.
Did it?
Yeah, it's all gone to hell. I just couldn't think of anything to say.
Oh, good.
And Annie said, "Oh, nothing like a bit of awkward finished silence while waiting."
Good times. So, do you think of anything to ask?
It does have a cutlasses in it. Does have parrots in it.
You can get a parrot figurehead.
There's a parrot. So you got no actual parrots on your shoulder that talk.
There's a dead one.
Hello, Charles. I was wondering where you were. No, don't hit the power button.
Pod dog.
You brought someone with you, Charles. Who's that?
Hello, Ram.
We've been to the beach. We've been to the beach.
Hello, Nick. Nick. Hello.
Hello, Charles. Oh, disaster. Hello, Charles.
Let me lick you, Nick.
No.
Bastard.
So, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
So, thumbs up.
I love it. I've been addicted to it, and I'm really glad I picked the game up. In fact, we bought an Xbox One for the wife to play it with us.
Awesome.
So, if you'd like Sea of Thieves right now, and I don't... Buying it from the Xbox store will net you a copy on PC. If you want to play it on PC, though, you have to go through the Windows 10 store. It doesn't seem to be on any other platform. One bonus, though, is if you want to try it and you're not too sure, you can get the game for the grand total of £1 at the moment. There is currently a sale on something called the Windows or Microsoft Game Pass, the Xbox Game Pass. It's like Microsoft's gaming subscription service.
Yeah.
£1 for 3 months, Sea of Thieves is included.
There you go.
It's pretty fun. It's got PvP. It's got an adventure mode. So it's got a combat arena mode. It's got an adventure mode. The story's kind of goofy and fun. And literally, most people just rock around, sailing around. The map is big enough for it to literally take hours just to do a few quests.
How often do you encounter other players? Is it quite rare to encounter other players? Or is the map big enough that you can...
It's big enough that you can avoid other players.
Yeah.
If you see them, you can easily avoid them. You do often see other players, but say maybe 1 in 5 you'll find an asshole that will try and engage you in combat. But all in, it's all right. It is more fun to play with friends, although solo is entirely possible. Do not pick a galleon if there's only one person. You cannot change your ship mid-session. So.
Oh, really?
No, so if you start with a sloop, you're only going to be able to have 2 people for the entire time that you're playing it, unless you log out and log back in.
So but I thought you could take over other players' ships though. So if you took over a galleon, could you not then have 4 players?
No.
So you took the galleon, you only have 2.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I imagine. I mean, because we've never really took a ship and kept it. If I had to be completely honest with you. So most of the time, people just take the ship and then sink it, or.
So it's
because party size is dictated by the ship that you pick at the start.
Is combat sort of just like hack and slash? Was it like sort of like MMO based where you like
first person hack and slash?
First person.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. I always thought it was third.
Nope, first person.
Oh.
The entire game takes place entirely in the first person.
That's neat.
Yes.
I honestly thought it was a third person game, but it's not. It's all first person.
It's first person.
Very
first
neat.
person.
I remember watching Sea of Thieves being demoed at E3. Not last year, before, and it looked quite cool then.
Yes.
So
a lot of people whined about it because this is Microsoft's Rare. Everyone knows Rareware. They've made some brilliant games back in the day. Not many that I was a huge fan of, but like they had Donkey Kong Country, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo-Kazooie, Perfect Dark.
Oh yes, I. Do you know, when you said Perfect, I know them from somewhere. They said Perfect, of course, Perfect Dark. Yeah.
And then Microsoft bought them and everyone got really upset.
Well, to be fair, usually Microsoft buy, it's usually the kick of death.
And that's what kind of happened with Rare. Sea of Thieves, though, is actually pretty good. I mean, from what I understand, launch, it was kind of rough. You know, there wasn't really a whole hell of a lot to do. But at the end of the day, sailing in that game is really fun. I enjoy just spending hours just sailing around different islands. I don't even have to touch land. Just leave me in my boat to sail around for a bit, and I'm happy. You know, the world is big enough that it could take me hours to sail around and get bored. I have to bail out my ship. I get attacked by random mythical creatures. You know, it looks fucking beautiful.
Is there enough variety in it?
Because
you've mentioned like it's all, you've got skeleton crews, you've got crackers and so forth. Is there a lot of variety on it, or do you think you'll find yourself doing the same?
You will end up doing the same stuff over and over and over.
And is it? You've not found it getting repetitive at all?
Not yet. Well,
no.
we've probably put in.
So it's engaging enough to not feel repetitive.
We've probably put in about 50 hours so far.
And
I'd say,
to be fair, if after 50 hours you've got fed up, you've had a good run out.
Oh yeah, for sure, that is it. And for £1 for the first 3 months, I'd say that's pretty good. I mean, I was playing it for about 4 hours a day at one point. I've been thoroughly enjoying myself.
Yeah.
That you do have obviously the story quests, but you have to find them. The game will not just shove them in your face.
I noticed there's no stats per se, but obviously you mentioned all your guys are legendary pilots, so there must be some sort of ranking system.
No, just all it means is that when you're a legendary pirate, you've basically become good enough to survive in different situations. So you've had enough quests at random.
But I'm saying that's tied to your character somehow.
No. All it literally does is give you tougher enemies to fight.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
Yeah.
I can go on a legendary pirate mission now, a level 50 pirate mission, and hold my own. If I was shit when I started and I was shit when I finished, like, if I hadn't learned how to play, I would still get wrecked, regardless of whether or not I was a level 50
Yeah.
pirate legend or not. It just means how much money do I earn, how fast do I earn money, and how hard are the quests.
Right.
Do I have to just randomly dig up a treasure chest, or do I have to dig up a treasure chest, then solve a riddle? You know, do the enemies have a specific weakness, or are they just generic skeletons?
Yeah.
You know, if you do a level 50 quest, you might end up going up against enemies that will heal themselves when they go into water, or they have a weakness to water, or you can only kill them with say, pistol fire or whatever. Whereas if you're like level 1, they're just going to say, go to this island, and then just going to get random generic enemies that die in a couple of hits.
Yeah.
Your stats don't change.
Are there chickens in it?
Yes, you can catch them.
Are
and
there
sell them.
sheep in it?
No,
Are there goats in it?
no,
Are there cows in it?
no,
Are there horses in it?
no,
Are there pheasants in it?
no,
Are there rats in it?
no,
Are there rabbits in it?
no,
Are there weasels in it?
no,
Are there cats in it?
no,
Are there dogs in it?
no,
Are there mongooses in it?
no.
Are there snakes in it?
Yes, lots of them, and they're
Oh, good.
bastards.
Good. There's
Oh, and
honestly.
you can cook things that you kill.
I'm glad I was on one of animals I could name.
Pig.
Pigs.
Yeah.
Pigs are in it.
Pigs and
Is it
fish.
called Horatio?
No.
Oh.
Just pig.
Does it kill things?
No.
Is it good at eating?
Yes.
Oh, that's right then.
That's it. As long as you cook it properly. If not, then you end up getting really, really sick.
That's
then you
very
can
that's
tactically-
very accurate.
Then you can tactically vomit over people as well. Because if you
Tactically?
yes, because if you vomit over people, they go blind for a brief time. Because they can't see because their screen is covered in vomit.
So are you just holding it in for the whole time?
yeah, basically. Or you can just drink a tankard of grog and then just throw up over someone.
Interesting.
Yes.
Cool.
Hi, Yankee. Bugger off.
Right.
No, I'm podcasting. There you go.
There you go. The fish are dead.
Yep, they're dead now. See, literally that second when I said no, they're now dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Bye, fish.
we've enjoyed the game enough to buy an Xbox for the wife to play it on. I've played
You know you're loving your game enough, and you buy extra expensive hardware to play it. I mean, the last game I did that for was Euro Truck Simulator.
There you
I
go.
bought a 250 quid steering wheel for it. So
Good times.
yeah, cool. Anything else on that?
The only there are some things I don't like.
Okay,
You can't have fleets, obviously, because of the balance of the game.
we've only 16 players as well.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you can't really have fleets, which is a shame because I've got 9 other people that want to play it with me, and that'd be, you know, a galleon, the middle ship, and a sloop, all fully crewed. We would dominate the server at that
Yeah.
point.
Do you think there's a talk they might like make bigger servers with like more players on them, or
Potentially, the map has expanded since launch, from what I understand, but
Yeah.
I don't know what they do
can you
with
make
balance.
if they cut the count to like 64 players, say?
That would be a bit much considering the size of the world.
Yeah, but if they made the map bigger as well,
They'd have to really make it bigger. But
32, double it.
I'd say 32 might be a bit more reasonable, but then still it would be a complete and utter fucking disaster. So there's that. Limited time cosmetic items.
Right.
I don't like those at all.
Has it got the dreaded microtransactions in it?
No.
Oh, that's good.
No. Not that I've seen as yet. And items tied to real world things. Example, you buy a Sea of Thieves control pad, you get a code that will let you have a certain figurehead or whatever in the game.
Oh, right, yeah.
That kind of stuff annoys me because scalpers just tend to buy them up and sell them for a huge amount. because
Amiibos.
Yeah. Although amiibos are continuously in print, whereas Sea of Thieves stuff isn't. So there's a lot of very limited stuff with Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I don't like sort of like, I'm not a fan of sort of timed exclusives and stuff like that where, because you were unlucky enough for whatever reason, didn't discover the game till 2 years after launch, you can't have a certain cool theme because hey, you didn't know about it 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
that's
Screw you.
that's
I
one of
don't
the
like that
things.
sort of thing.
We found that with one of the guys on our team, Raptor, has a really awesome set of sails, but you can't have them anymore because you weren't a pirate legend before the end of year 1. And just stuff like that. Like, I get it, you're rewarding players for being loyal to the game, but it's also kind of annoying for people like me who didn't get into the game until a bit
But
later.
you can do things like that. You can reward them. Okay, you get those sales once you've been playing the game for you played X many hours.
I would take that. I would
That's
happily
fine,
take
'cause
that. Or
that's-
give me the reward.
Everybody can still get it.
Yeah, give me something like that for being in there a year as well. For
Yeah.
when the next year's anniversary comes through. Congratulations, you're a pirate legend. Have some pirate legend sales.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of stuff is fine in my book because you can do it if you can get it if you want to.
Yeah.
But stuff where you've got no chance of getting it,
Annoys me.
yeah, it does annoy the hell out of me as well.
Yep.
So
Because there have been people scalping the ever living shit out of stuff like that.
exactly, it just encourages it.
I understand it's only cosmetic, but sometimes you do feel like you are missing out.
Yeah, you say it's only cosmetic, but if it's something that really looks really cool and you'd really want it, I mean, if there's no even way you can because Steam has that a little bit, but you can trade things.
Yeah.
Generally, you can trade stuff. If you can't get it anymore, because it's not like you can probably buy it on Steam or trade it. Whereas also, I'm guessing there's no such system available for Sea of Thieves.
No.
So yeah, I don't like that sort of stuff.
No. A lot of people will complain that the game is very empty, but then, as I say, for me, I've been playing it for hours and I've thoroughly enjoyed every
It's
minute.
not like a game that's designed around that though. Cause
It's piracy, mate. What are you going to do? You're going to sail around, you're going to find treasure, you're going to sell it, you're going to kill things, and you're going to fuck off back. There doesn't need to be it doesn't have to be a hugely deep story here.
No, and at the end of the day, if the missions that require you to find chests take you like an hour, if the game is so popular that people could find within 5 minutes, you just wouldn't bother doing them
No, that's it.
because there's no risk reward there. It's like, okay, we might last an hour of no one finding us. I was like, well, we won't last 5 minutes unless we're really lucky. Well, there's no point doing that quest.
Yep.
So I can sort of get why I've done it that way.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's nice to have a game where you can have a bit of a breather in it as you're doing stuff and.
Yeah. I mean, you could just go and hang out in the pub, play your instruments, because your characters all get instruments so you can play together. You can go fishing if you want to. Just little things like that. It's just kind of like for me, it's kind of like an interactive chat room.
Yeah.
Because you can actually talk to other players in the game if you have your mic enabled. There is actually an in-game chat system.
Oh, cool.
So you can shout at other players from the bow of your ship. It's like, "Or you cunt, I'm going to come and sink you." And if they're too far away, then you have to get a...
I was going to say, it's sort of dependent on how close you are to them
Yeah.
and so forth.
that kind of stuff's kind of neat. It,
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
adds to the atmosphere of the game. And I'm telling you now, the world is beautiful. It is at least worth getting that Game Pass just to have a look at the world. Although I will say it does look better on Xbox than it does on PC.
Really? That's unusual.
Graphically, if you're a graphics snob, it will look better resolution-wise and frame rate-wise on PC. However, the Xbox has a wonderful little party trick in that it's HDR compatible. So if you own an HDR TV, that makes the game look a lot better than what it does on PC. I've had a fair few people say, hands down, the HDR of the Xbox game tops out the resolution of the PC version every day of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played it on both PC and Xbox because obviously it's a cross-play, cross-buy game. So a PC player can come and play with Xbox players, and if you bought it on the Xbox, you've got it on the PC, and vice versa. I've played it on the PC and the Xbox, and I don't really see a huge amount of difference between the two. I would probably agree that the HDR makes the game look better on Xbox.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's fun. It's worth getting.
Cool.
For a quid, you can't go wrong.
No. Cool. Right then, so okay to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on, bit of TV. I've been revisiting a series I haven't watched for many years.
Right.
In fact, I'm trying to think the last time I watched it would probably been when I was doing my cultural degree, so probably best part of like I did that. I graduated in 2009, so best part of 10 years since I last watched it. I've been watching the re-imaged version of Battlestar Galactica.
All right.
So Battlestar, there's an original series produced in the 1970s, only made one season, and it was very cult. It was a cult sci-fi. Basic story is there's this group of robots called Cylons who rise up and basically destroy humanity. As you do. Humanity decides to leave, and they escape, and the few remain. So they caught the sort of like what's left of the fleets get together. And there's one Battlestar, the pretend called Battlestar Galactica. It's the only sort of military ship left. Everybody else is just civilian ships. And they decide they're going to go find what was called the missing colony, or another colony called Earth. That's where we're going to head to. So that's the original. The reimage version slightly twists that. So in the original, Cylons were made by another race. In the reimage, they're made by humans. There's no other aliens in the whole series. There are no aliens in the series at all. It was only humans and what they made. So they made the Cylons. Cylons eventually learnt and got smart enough to realise that, actual fact, they didn't want to be the slave race because they're being used for like slave labour, and rebelled and wiped out most of the masters. There's a big war. An armistice eventually signed and said, "Look, you have that part of the galaxy. That's yours. We will not bother you. Let us have this bit, and we'll go our separate ways. Forget about it." The colonial fleet, who are the sort of humans in this, they basically have an armistice station where they could like do relationships, but keep relationships. And every year they send an officer. The officer goes there, and he sits there for like on an agreed day. They have an officer who goes there. He waits if the Cylons turn up, and every year Cylons don't turn up. Until one year, he sat there and he's in the skies there, and the door opens, and this what looks like a human walks in, as well as two other normal Cylons, modern versions. You've probably also seen the Cylon Centurions, the sort of like silver armoured dudes, and like this is the modern version, the newer version of them. And she sort of comes over and says, "Are you real?" And when he says yes, he then sort of touches him and says, "Right, humanity's children are coming home." And at that point, the Cylons basically nuke the fuck out of all the 12 colonies. And basically humanity escapes. Same principle, Battlestar Galactica, low civilian ships escape, and they basically trying to find this 13th colony called Earth. And that's what their plan is. They're going to go try and find it. So what is neat was at the time when it was made, there weren't many sci-fis doing more realistic sci-fi. So plenty doing what I call space opera sci-fi. So you've got Star Trek, you've got Doctor Who, you've got Farscape. Space is easy, basically. It's very easy. Everyone flies around. Ship. A good way to tell if it's not a very realistic sci-fi is look how the ships move. If they move like fire ships, they move like they're flying through air. It's not wrong. There's Newtonian physics. They can spin on the spot, that sort of stuff. And in Battlestar Galactica, there's Newtonian physics. They can just their ships. Their favorite tactic is when they're being chased, just simply to flip themselves over and shoot back, and which works. You can do that. So it's a bit like actually sort of a zombie film where Cylons are sort of driving the plot, but it's mainly about sort of the character-driven arc and the politics. So there's only 47,000 people survived at the end of it. Left of the 12 colonies of millions of people, 47,000 survive. The main character, you've got Adama, who's Colonel Adama. He's leader of the Battlestar Galactica. And he was basically, the thing is, Battlestar Galactica was about, when it happened, was about to be retired. They were literally in the process of shutting it all down, retiring it, because it was outdated. It was built during the last Cylon War, and so it hasn't got things. Because Cylons were a machine-based race, they haven't got on the ground. They've got no network computers because they can be easily hacked.
Yeah.
And if you want to get one, so they don't have any network computers. All their phones use cords still. It's very old technology on their ship. Whereas on the newer ships, all the opposite. They all have network computers. They've all got internet. Because they thought Cylons are gone now. We're never going to see them again. So they just carried on rebuilding.
Yeah.
Of course, and all like their shit, all their fighter planes and stuff all got more sophisticated technology on them.
Idiots.
So when Cylons returned, they hacked the whole lot. But Battlestar couldn't be tacked because it was too old. I enjoy the hell out of the new BSG. So watched it again a few years ago. Yes, I'm now rewatching it again because I love BSG. People at the last season, but so you got him. He's got he's drawn with his. He's got his sort of next in line, Colonel Ty, who's basically a drunkard, But again, because it was a retirement vessel, no one really cared.
Yeah.
It was still technically a military ship, but they're literally about to be mothballed. So everybody didn't
They
basically
didn't really give a toss
No.
anymore. I mean,
So-
at the end of the day, like, we're supposed to be a military vessel, but let's be fair. What's the likelihood that we're actually going to get attacked? It's been peaceful for God knows how long.
All the youngsters, they'll get moved on to different departments. They're sort of keeping it accurate and so forth. But, Dharma's getting close to retirement. He's probably going to be sort of shuffled off some ministry. Ty will probably retire and go elsewhere. They're sort of like in their tries. The other side, the civilian side, you've got this lady called Laura Roslin, who was the sort of civilian representative of the government who went to go to the Battlestar Galatica decommissioning ceremony.
Yeah.
Because she's on Battlestar Galatica when the attack happens, she's the only person in the government left. So by default, she becomes the president.
One hell of a promotion.
She goes from basically education secretary to the president, which is a bit of a shock.
Bit of a leap.
Pistachio 10 says I'm a mog.
Yes.
Yes. So comes back. So the story basically follows. It's more around initially about Cylons attack Haiti, but it's more about their interaction. So at first, for a long time, Adama and Roslin they sort of work together. They don't really see eye to eye because initially Adama wants to go back and fight, but because he thinks that's what you should do, and she'd say to him, "Look, come on, you are, we lost the war. You can't fight this. You lost the war." So he sort of eventually gives in and says, "Yeah, okay, fine. We'll just keep the fleet going." And yes, you follow them through their sort of time, and they'll engage Cylons, and we learn more about Cylons. We learn that Cylons have created human-like versions of them. There's 12 of them in total. Get confusing. There's 12 versions, like different people looking, but there's multiple copies of them.
Okay.
So you can have it follows on Battlestar Galatica. You've got this character called Boomer, who's a Cylon. She doesn't know she's a Cylon. She's sort of like a sleeper cell. She doesn't know that she's a Cylon. You find it in the first episode, in the first miniseries, she's a Cylon. On Caprica, which is one of the main colonies are named after astrological signs. You've got Airlon, Tauron, Caprica, obviously Aries, Taurons, and Caprica. She basically had gone to Caprica when they were sort of investigating what happened. She was they had to land there. And when they left, she left her co-pilot behind so she could take some civilians back with her. And she left the co-pilot behind called Hilo. Well, the Cylons took this as an opportunity and got another version of Boomer to go find him to basically sort of interact with him, basically sort of learn and so forth. Oh, you can't claim me nerds and not know Spaceballs. Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you know what? I've never watched Spaceballs.
I don't remember much of Spaceballs other than it was quite funny.
Yeah, I've heard
At
it's
the
really
time.
good. I know it's a parody of Star Wars. Let's be honest, it's not hard to parody Star Wars.
I always thought that Star Wars was practically a parody of itself at this point. But
Well, yeah, that's very true. But
did you ever watch? Did you watch Blues Brothers in the end?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Right. Well, fucking Blues Brothers and Spaceballs.
Fair enough. We'll do it for the next episode. But yeah, so it's really enjoyable to do. I love the sort of characters. It was a bit of a refreshing change from sci-fi at the time. There were some other sort of more hard stuff coming out at the time, but they were a bit more. It hadn't quite sort of broken through. But it was different.
Yeah.
Created by Ronald D. Moore, who also, I think one reason I liked it was that he was the producer for the last few seasons of Star Trek: Deep Space Nine, which is one of it's actually my favourite Star Trek, and got a lot more. That's one of Captain Sisko.
Oh right, sure.
And that's one, and I like the fact because it had plot arcs and so forth. Because this has got very long-winded plot arcs in it as well. Split the whole thing has got a bit of we're making up as we go along to it. You can get the feeling that they didn't have a coherent plan of what they're going to do.
No, why not?
But that's by being TV series, isn't it? Let's just throw stuff in and we'll figure out later. We
Yeah,
might not
throw
make
shit
this,
at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah,
And
season
then
1.
keep going until we get cancelled.
The unfortunately of Battlestar Galactica, it suffered from there was a writer's strike quite late on, and it suffered heavily because the last scene of Battlestar Galactica isn't very good. and most people agree that the sort of season finale is pretty awful the way they tie it up. To be honest, there's only realistically one way they could finish it off, and they had to explain about a hell of a lot
Very quickly.
and so it tied up. It wrapped itself up really quickly. So I won't say it's my favourite ending, but it's overall a good series. I've enjoyed it. What's some nice things about it? One nice thing about it is there's this guy called Richard Hatch who played Apollo in the original series, and he was very vocal when Battlestar was being redone because he wanted to do a continuation of Battlestar.
Right, sure, but then instead they re-envisioning.
Bear in mind that he was still fine with this, like the early 2000s, when most of the actors were either dead or like all in their sort of 60s.
Sure.
But what he did was he said instead of like sort of going, he said like he basically sort of invited me to have a chat with him or via email. Said, "Do you want a part?" So he ended up playing a character in the series and getting involved. And he doesn't play his original character. That's played by somebody else.
Sure.
But he plays another character who becomes he's quite a main important character, antagonist for the series. So it's quite neat how they sort of tied that together.
Nice little throwbacks.
Put it together. So yeah, really good series. I'm really enjoying it.
Good.
And apparently, because we haven't not seen Blue Brothers, well, I haven't seen Blue Brothers, what the fuck, I'm out. So.
Oh, bless.
Oh, sorry. But I will see Blues at some point.
Yeah.
I don't really watch films that much.
No. Neither do I in the grand scheme.
No. I haven't watched any of the new Star Wars, for starters.
No, me either. No,
No.
wait, not entirely true. One of them, don't remember which one it is. It was shit.
Yeah.
Very crybaby-like.
I watched 5 minutes of The Phantom Menace. The first
of the new trilogy.
Air quotes episode 1, because let's not pretend there was meant to be an episode 1. And I got to cinema to watch number 2. I didn't really want to go, but I sort of got guilted into going, and never watched number 3. I watched number 2. I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, because I was like, I recognise C-3PO, I recognise R2-D2. I haven't got a fucking clue who the rest of these people are, what they're doing, but they've got laser swords, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's that's Star Wars.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was it. So yeah, that's a good series. Watch it.
Epic.
Cool. Anything else from yourself?
Nope.
Right then, so that is us. So if you've enjoyed this, please feel free to follow us. We've got a website, roundnerds.com.
I'm sure most people are miserable bastards and won't do any of that.
Of course not. We've also got a YouTube channel, youtube.com/roundnerds, although it's mainly just for the podcast streams, although you might start a thing. We've got twitch.tv/roundnerds, or you can watch us individually. So you've got twitch.tv/Skazz, which is
SK4ZZI0US.
Yep, and he's broadcast most days.
Every day.
You've got me every day. You've got me on twitch.tv/TheSuffolkRam. I broadcast if I can. We've got a Patreon, which I haven't actually checked if anyone Patreon. This is a bad move. I should check it out now. It's fine. If you are Patreon, thank you very much. I'll mention you next time when I actually get a chance to look.
The answers are likely no, though.
No. But if anyone, no one's fought any over us so far. We've got our Twitter, twitter.themebob/roundnerds.
Whatever that site is, no one uses it.
Got that.
No one relevant really uses that site.
No, of course not. So, but yeah, thank you very much for watching. I've been the TheSuffolkRam.
Skazz.
And we'll see you in a fortnight's time on the 27th of May. Mm-hmm. On a Saturday.
I'll remember. Jesus Christ. I lost a day, all right?
You gained a day.
I almost lost a week.
You gained a day. So, we'll see you then. Thank you very much for watching. Hang on.
Oh.
Middlemeister says bye as well. Bye-bye.
One day he might become a human again. Don't bet on it.
Only if we let him. So, see you later.